board, today, May 16th, at, what is it, 11 o'clock? First order of business would be, approval of last minute meeting minutes.
Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting. Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. At this time, I'll turn it over to the surveyor, our favorite drain.
Got with, Mr. Ken Smith, the town engineer, and he presented these to me this morning. Basically showing that they're just wanting all the jurisdictions out, or east of State Road 75. And they got plans in place where they're gonna tie up the drains along 75 back in and route it to the new pipe that run along the pond. And down at the bottom, there's two different options. They're not sure which one they're gonna go with yet, but, they're gonna bid it both ways to see how it comes out. One's a little bit longer than the other, as far as distance wise, but they did run cameras up everything, and they said the tile coming down from Camden was in good shape and everything still.
No, we had to just fix one little spot, and we're gonna do this for how long?
Yeah. Yeah, they said everything that was tying in, I mean, but, they're looking at bidding this out next Wednesday, I guess. Or maybe this Wednesday, but they're gonna submit it out to bid, which takes, time to do anyway too, but I did talk to him, the pipe going under State Road 75 with the grant. They have to work it with, they were working with state, and they're gonna actually dig down both sides of the highway and fill it with, rollable fill, so it'll be solid, so it won't be we don't have to worry about that collapsing into the highway or anything like that, so. And it definitely be sealed off where, I mean, we're, 60 or 80 foot of pipe to completely fill with concrete, so. So no water should ever do that, if something's ever happened on it, I mean, Camden will be responsible for it, I mean, it's gonna fall on them and everything. They have problems on that side of the highway,
So they're still wanting our right of ways, aren't they?
yeah, they're wanting basically the right of ways on the east side of the road, and we'll still have the west side, which more likely, I think, we're gonna end up looking at that being vacated, I think, being such a big pipe and no more than 200 feet, so.
And that's just gonna be on the two properties right there then, right?
Yeah, Ross Larimore and, Dean Cripe, yeah, and technically, I guess, Ross Larimore has a basement drain that drains into it. That's the only thing that's hooked into it, other than the field, so, I mean, needs to be worked with him on making sure that got hooked up or whatever, but, so, we'll figure that out.
So there was more complaints.
So,
So our easement's just here on top of the pond though, right? North of the pond? Coming down the hill?
yeah, they've already acquired their easements from
Down here?
the landowners, yeah, that's all up to them to do with their,
I heard that guy that owns that pond, I know he's the nicest guy.
he sold to his son,
Oh, man.
yeah, Leonard don't own it anymore.
Well, he's got a section down here.
Well, he still owns some of it, yeah, but, no, they said they've already acquired all of them, and then actually, up here north of the pond, they've actually went through there and cut the big trees they had to cut. The rest of this called scrub brush, they don't have to wait until certain times of year, but the big stuff's what they had to get down, so. They supposedly got some of that cut down on the hillside going back up there by the pond, so. Basically, all we're down to is if we're gonna, I guess, get the paperwork ready and relinquish jurisdiction for that part of it.
After you've seen the plans, though, right?
Huh?
After you've seen the plans.
Well, this is kind of what he's thinking is the plan, but I haven't had the construction plan yet.
Okay.
But, I mean, they are tying, the ones I was worried about, they're tying back in one way or the other to the drain going to the south. They're not gonna, and then, I was worried about the concrete under the highway, who's paying for that, and they're taking care of all that, so. I mean, we'll still need to get a set of construction plan, yeah.
So once they get this completed, then we'll turn over our jurisdiction or before?
I think we turned it over before, don't we, did?
I think
so
they'll
you
need,
work on it.
they'll need it to do their project.
Well, if they're already cutting trees down, they're already doing it.
Well, they just had to do that with yeah, I mean, they contacted me when they got ready to cut them down, they were gonna cut some of, wasn't a whole lot, but they had to cut some of the things down. actually, if you see that red line there, that's actually gonna be the tile from the highway coming back and dumping into that drain to the other way, to the east area down the east. So they're gonna still use that to use that line.
So this all drains to the south.
Yeah, right now, it's way out, yeah, their plans are to drain over the south, one way or the other. There's gonna be a head wall constructed at the creek and riprap, people washing and all that stuff, he said. And he said most of it is pretty flat through there, but closer to the creek, it does come up a little bit. And he said most of it's got 3 to 4 foot of coverage, what they're coming up with as far as elevations and stuff, so.
When do they meet again?
That'd be
This Wednesday?
June 8th, maybe?
Yeah, okay, so they met the 11th, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have 11 this month, so.
So they should have their plans by then, and we can really should have our next meeting.
Yeah, I think what we'll do, I'll prepare it so that they vote on it to request the relinquishment on June the eighth. Have they formally, they did adopt a resolution, did they? I don't think so.
No, we gave a resolution first time, didn't we, Dad? For the other drain, we done had, yeah, cause they had a copy of it, but they never signed it.
So they have to do a resolution.
I'll get their resolution ready, so hopefully they do it on the eighth, and then our board can consider it on that.
Yeah, cause I mean, they're just taking on bids for,
Eighteenth on the, 20th, right.
yeah, cause they're just taking bids, right? I mean, they're gonna take bids, but I mean, they're not gonna do anything for at least 30 days, they take the bids and then review everything anyway, so we'll have plenty of time still to get that done.
And I heard they also got a grant to do the water lines too, to run it out to the river right now in my house.
But for future development out that direction.
How is Cameron
Oh, I love our water. We've got a very good superintendent who takes care of us very well. And if there's any issues, if it's in close to your area, he'll either knock on your door or he'll message you somehow. And the new guy started to do that too. Town Camden's got some good employees.
So what do we need them to do as far as?
Nothing today.
Okay.
What do these numbers mean down here where I'm looking at it says like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, what's those numbers mean? Little red ones?
They do. Being said, I mean,
Is that the elevation?
I'm,
So every 18 feet it drops,
well, that's 18-inch pipe they're putting in.
18 and 5 inches.
So maybe, let's see,
Cause it starts up here at the top, it's 3 feet, so that's probably 3 feet deep to wherever it's gonna end
That's how
up at.
deep it is down?
oh, that's number of feet. It says +00.
Yeah.
That's 1,300 feet basically, at 13, when it says 13 + 00.
Oh,
Yeah,
So it's just telling you each route how long it
yeah, it's basically, they do it at station every 100 foot
Station
mark.
marker.
Yeah.
okay.
So they'll, on their construction plans, it'll say at 100 foot, they'll show a diagram that shows this much cover and all that stuff on the construction plan, so the contractor knows how much he's digging up to bid it, how deep he has to go for cost. But yeah, one of them's, he said, yeah, one route's 1,859 feet, the other one's a little over 2,000, about 200 foot difference going different directions, but he's putting a 2% slope on it. And then he said he's talking to this pond people about putting another inlet or an outlet of the pond into this pipe over here on the south corner. And it'll have one here and here, so just in case one of them was to plug up, it would still have drain access.
It's a beautiful pond.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, they're more likely gonna just, because from the pond to the other pipe on the north corner, King Craig had already replaced that. When there was a blockage or something, so he put a new pipe in, put a new piece in the county main part of it, and then tied, put a T in and.
I remember what he was talking about, he said that pond raised like a foot in like 5 hours.
Yeah, just put that pipe in.
Because up here, this right here,
It's all spring
it's
fed.
all spring right there, runs into that pond.
That's why a lot of there's pipes, little bitty pipes coming out 75 behind. But there's like 3 little pipes that tie into the drain, that they're all in that hillside in the springs. It's basically like a French drain.
That first house coming down the hill there on the right,
Yeah.
if you dig in their backyard like 2 feet,
You know, but
it's gonna come up.
was this an old gravel pit, is that what it is?
The old gravel pit's down here where the trucking station is. Before you go around the corners, right there across from Slick C, you go back there, there's an old gravel pit too.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what
This is a spring deal, they were trying to take care of the springs by doing this, and, but, not real sure. So I guess, we'll wait till we move on with that, and take care of that. I'll request him with him too, to send me a set of construction plans when I get them ready for the bid. With that, basically new business, had 5 new work orders this past month. 22 is the, number 39, WC Meisner. It's up there in Jefferson Township, off 1100 north there, just east of Patton. Had 2 tile breakdowns, and we've already got those fixed. 3322 is number 8, Clark Lowry, basically had a couple sinkholes, or we had 1 sinkhole south of, 100 south, basically, kind of southeast of where we repaired the woods. There was a break in the tile there that we had to repair, so, that's already been done. 3422 is number 103 Tim Condon drain inspector, in Adams Township, that's right at the bottom of Peterson Hill. Towpath and 500 west ends up being up on top of the hill. And we had, 1 sinkhole in the north of Towpath, and then when the contractor was there, it was full of water because the river was up too high, it wasn't draining very well. So, on the other landowner on the south side, he actually contacted the contractor and said he had 2 sinkholes on his property, so we got like 3 we're gonna fix, but, right now, we're waiting for water to get down so we can get in and repair them, so. Then, number 3522 is number 95 at JW Shanklin. It's in Democrat Township. It's just east of 100 east and south of 500 south. Just having a sinkhole out in the field, it's already repaired. 3622 at number 96 William McCarty in Burlington Township on 600 east. Be north of 600 south. There was a sinkhole. Contractor just let me know he got that repaired this morning, and it was just a white joint, so it was all fixed. So trying to keep all the field ones done before the planting, so they did the 4-month planting, or we get them fixed right after planting. But, so move on to ARP. That the money that was given to the county to put back. We was at a couple more meetings, and a lot of the surveyors are saying that it's one of the only grants or funds that we can get actually access to do stormwater repairs and stuff like that for the county for projects. I know we've talked quite a bit on Deer Creek, or not Deer Creek, Vicksburg and Burroughs, how we've been having several complaints about the drains not working, their basements are flooding, and their furnaces and stuff out. These are kind of some of the projects a lot of places are doing, it's in the small communities like that where they're not incorporated, so they had no funds to fix them. I didn't know if that was something you think I could look into, or, I mean, we'd have to get a hold of some design people to actually get an cost estimate, what they thought it would cost to even do something like that, or.
What do you think, something like Burroughs or down Deer Creek, something like that?
Burroughs and, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's the biggest issue,
Yeah, we've had-
because it's all spring there too.
Yeah, we got springs all on the hillside, and, there's a lot of the tile that was plugged up, and, I know we had, one house that I got a call probably three weeks straight every day. We had a big flood event and stuff, and he had 3 sub pumps running day and night, trying to keep up the water coming into the basement. It was just flooded on downstream from him, so all the water was forced down the hill and just pushing right back up in his basement. So, but then also, I know I'm sure those would be some pricey, projects, so I didn't know, I mean, something you thought I ought to investigate and even consider doing something
What
like
would it
that.
cost to get a plan for one of these, do you know off the top of your head, just
No, I mean, I could contact, you know, a couple engineering firms and to see what they thought it would be to do like a study and proposal or something like that. But, I mean, I'm sure we're probably, I mean, to do something to get it really, I mean, they're gonna have to do a lot of investigating, so we have no maps of where any
You're
tires
looking
are.
at, I think you're looking at $40,000-$50,000 just to do the study and.
Yeah, I'm thinking
And planning.
construction cost and
And the
study and
construction cost
everything.
is probably gonna be millions.
I mean, I don't know.
I bet it'd be a million easy.
Cheaper to buy the house.
Yeah. But I didn't know if we wanted to do anything like that, and also, I know you guys gave us, gave Mike permission to have us fill out some of this co-op work, paperwork, like in case of disaster and stuff like
Well,
that.
that's state mandated.
Yeah, right now in my office, none of our drainage, or drains that are on maintenance, all the paperwork, all the surveys from Rensselaer, from 30 years worth of work, all of our surveys that was done before, they had to be recorded, that we keep, ditch record books that we have, none of that stuff is saved anywhere. So if we have a fire in that office, those records are lost. All our section corner material, none of it's on the internet, or on the computer, backed up anywhere, it's all just on paper.
Maybe you need to get with Ms. Titus.
So I didn't know this,
And see what it would cost.
because I know we talked to Randy several times, and he said it would be we'd have to have a good sized server to put all that onto, and then also, where do you send it to, for it to get backed up somewhere else, you know, because a fire burns the server up, and we're not gonna have any much better luck there, so that have a cloud or something like that. So I don't know.
I'd be more willing to use this with ARP money for that than I would, but we need to save those documents, don't we?
I mean, I do wanna let you know, in the towns of like Pittsburgh, Deer Creek and stuff, they're platted like a town.
Mhm.
So we got 60, 80 foot road right of ways, and then all them drains are in them county right of ways, or, well, not really right of ways, it's just needed roadways. And so all them tile are really up to the county to repair if there's ever problems, so I mean, technically, but we just don't know where we're at, that's the problem, so.
Right.
But, so down the road, if something happens, I mean, technically, we should be fixing them, if people are complaining about them, but.
So you recommended getting maybe quotes from architects to do that, then quotes for the scanning, get with Ms. Titus?
Just for the information we have.
Yeah.
You know, that day.
Yeah, I mean, future on it, we can scan stuff in.
A drain that's not on,
Yeah, I mean, we have
add that to it.
there's a scanner, I mean, we can, the big printer format that's in the,
Well, her issue was the size of the whole
The book.
document.
Right.
The old books, yeah.
The old
The
ones.
people she's having coming in can do that.
And they can bring, they got it in on the scanner, they can scan it right in the book.
they got one that you just run down the page. Yeah,
I understand.
yeah, I've seen those.
So I don't think print it here, if they send it off to the page. I have no idea, but-
I'd give it a
What-
Titus
What's your
on that.
stuff, how big stuff do you have?
We have some that's 24 by 36. Yeah, I mean, but a lot of our
But they're-
drain stuff and the surveys that Rensselaer done back in the day, most of those are all 11 by 17 or smaller, so it would be.
And if it's hard to read, what she showed us that they clarified it, I'm like, that was kinda cool.
Yeah, I got a lot of them are the old blueprint printing or whatever, and sometimes when you try to print those, the paper's so old, it actually picks up the color of the paper and makes it just almost like black out when I'm trying to scan those, to send them email.
Places outside your home, you guys send it, you can incorporate it, you gotta talk to them, and
Yeah, I'll get with her and get in contact.
give them a call, so that they'll say.
Because hers is almost, excuse me, hers is like $55,000 for hers to get scanned. But that's,
That's starting back at 1828, going to 1865 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think we need to keep those. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what after seeing that, and they're like, well, never really thought about it until I started reading some of that stuff up, and it's like.
That's why
Like,
we
we
did
tried
that
to
too, so.
do it, we done the surveys, we were trying to do surveys, but, you about gotta have a program set up on for scanning like that, it'll index it and everything by name, and where you can do a quick reference on a computer. So, but, we just never got that far, I knew it would be lots of money, so. Yeah. But more stuff that's
They'll
going
do
on.
that for you, they'll do all the indexing and everything.
Yeah, that's what,
That's what we
and
had.
you end up putting on your website, people just.
We were trying to do it just like, we were gonna try to do it just on our computer, and we scanned a couple townships in, and it was just crazy amount of space it took up, and you couldn't really index them, I mean, it was hard to reference them to.
How much stuff do you have that she has or vice versa? None.
We did have, but when, she got the big format printer that could print the big stuff, we took everything that was recorded back up to her, so it was to eliminate, that's how we made a little bit of space in our office too, is we kind of reduced the number of copies and stuff down there, we send them upstairs, and she collects the money for the copies of that recorded stuff. So she's, I mean, that helps her make extra money too, you know, so this is me making money, or not me, but the county in general is getting the money from the money she's spending out of her graduation fund for the copier and everything, so help her reimburse that back.
Well, one thing I imagine, these costs of these services, we might have to do that.
No.
Somebody was pretty good business.
Just do it on the computer. I can turn it on and do it with a camera, if I feel so, I can.
That's how you fix it.
I want me to do it in towns, or just get an idea, or?
I can see what they would, rough estimate, what they'd say they would cost to come in and give us plan, or to do a plan. Man,
Is there any grant money for, like, incorporated towns? Is there any grant money available for?
No, that's what, I mean, I've talked to all the other counties, and they're like, there's just nothing out here for county surveyors to get. I mean, the incorporated towns can, because they get that, the one stuff, but any it's unincorporated, stuff like that, or county drains, there's just no money. I mean, we've looked for grants, and I've asked several, I mean, I'm sending out emails to all the county surveyors, and they're all come back saying, there's nothing out here right now.
Especially if it's a private grant.
Yeah, so. I can do that, I guess I'll hopefully have something back in my next month meeting, but, I mean, we can't hurt to ask them, and see what it seems.
Right.
But I just
Phone
wanna
call
make sure.
free.
Don't ask you to find out.
Yeah, just wanted to run by you before I did it, spend time doing it. But, with that, basically mileage for the month of, April was 207 miles. This month, I think, month of May, I've driven quite a bit here lately, from checking, sinkholes and getting stuff ready for the contractors to do, and meeting them if they have any questions. And drainage and water standing, we've had a lot of rains, but that should be, more likely I'll be going back to, either doing a transfer or going back to the council before the end of the year, because the mileage, or the fuel, I mean, it's double, at least double in price, so I mean, I know I had 600 for the whole year, so it's not going very far.
That's good, thanks.
Yeah, it's $60 to $65 a tank.
Yeah.
That's right.
$5 and something. Well, we got the contract in, so we should be okay on that.
Yeah, sometimes they still do certain things in that contract.
Yeah.
It won't be hurting near as bad, but I can still up after a certain, it goes up a certain amount or something.
We need it for the facility, before we buy it, if we want it, get it delivered, and have it. Say, and if you get somebody, like, you're gonna get a lot cheaper than that.
Yeah. That's what a highway is a lot better deal, because they use enough of it that, and they got storage, bigger storage containers like that, yeah.
How much do we store?
That diesel weapon, well, they bring it in on a truck, but I think it's 2,000 or 3,000 gallons each tank. Pretty good amount. Maybe two. Yeah, so anyway, I just let you know on that, but money spent, or we received in $375 month of April for commits. And that brings us to the year total of about $1,325. The next drainage board meeting will be June 20th, 11 minutes.
Any comment from the public? Thanks, Donnie. I have a motion to adjourn.
I don't want to.
You don't want to, you want to stay?
Second.
Alright, we got a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Ugh.